Hey fellow rock lovers and cabochon makers, check out this big chunk of, this is called Utah Lace Opal. That's right, Utah Lace Opal. A very nice fellow named Larry at the Aspen Rock and Gem store in Cedar Edge, Colorado was kind enough to give me this piece. He said, Scott, I want you to take that back to your shop and do something with it. I said, well, I can probably do a slab and cab video, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this big chunk, get it on the slab saw, get a nice slab off of it, and then eventually make a cabochon. Now, I want to point out that this Utah Lace Opal is rather unique. He's got a lot of it in his shop, and it's pretty cool stuff. I saw some examples of what it looks like all polished up. Now, it does need to be stabilized, and honestly, I've not done that before, but he told me how I could do it, and I'm going to give it a shot. So follow me into the shop as we get this thing cut and stabilized at some point, and eventually turned into a cabochon. Here's some information from Larry about the rock and how he found it. I found this rather interesting. I thought you might enjoy reading it. And here's another bit of information. And finally, here are some examples of what it looks like when you get it polished. Hopefully, I will do it justice. Welcome back. No, you're not looking at a bunch of bacon. This is, in fact, the Utah Lace Opal once it's been slabbed. It definitely needs to be stabilized because these cuts just all broke apart. It's beautiful stuff, though, as you can see. Really pretty, and it is opal. If you did read the information, it talks about how the stuff was formed. Larry even had it checked by a lab, and it is, in fact, an opal material. So it's softer than the regular chalcedony that we work with this sort of like a Mexican crazy lace agate, something like that. Well, what I did is I took a couple of pieces of this and I tried my best to stabilize it using the method that Larry told me to do. He had me put these in these little bags with a bunch of super glue and just try to massage the super glue into the little pits and fractures as best I could, and then lay these out on wax paper, let them dry. And that's what I did. So these two pieces have been stabilized. I should put that in air quotes. I know there are better ways to do it with vacuums and whatnot, but hey, it's my first time. So now I'm going to take these two pieces, well, one of them anyway, draw some sort of cab shape on it, and go from there. In other words, get it trimmed and dopped and hopefully turned into a cabochon. Let me go ahead and decide which piece to use and what shape we're going to cut. Check it out. I'm going to try these two basic oval shapes. And I tried to pick areas that showed plenty of contrast, lots of color, and that had something underneath. Like in this case, that I may be cutting that a little close into that area there. And this is going to be the top here, but that may have been a bad choice. This one, that looks like it'll be okay. It's a little smaller than I like to work with, but we'll give both of these a shot. Let me go ahead and get these things trimmed up. I'll get them dopped, and then I'll meet you over at the cabbie machine. Because this stone is soft, I'm starting on the 220 grit wheel for the basic shaping. And here's how it looks. Got a nice high dome on it. Check that out. Okay, let's move on to the next wheel. In this case, the 280 grit soft wheel. Clean up the scratches. And there's how it looks. Certainly no shine at all, but otherwise I like the shape. Next up is the 600 grit wheel. Now, normally you can start to see a shine after this. Well, because this is soft stone, no shine yet. Let's see what the 1200 grit wheel will do. Okay, now after 1200 grit, you can start to see the reflection of the shop lights. Well, that's a good sign. Let's move on to the final wheel, the 3000 grit wheel. What will this do for our polish? Well, there you go. Now I can see a good reflection. Not bad for such a soft stone, but let's see if we can do any better on the wet belt sander and the cerium belt. Spend a few moments here. And for our final polish, check it out. That's a nice sharp reflection. I'm happy with that, all things considered. I think for opal it looks really good. I especially like that red. Well, let's go ahead now and take this inside and we'll take a closer look at it. Check it out, the Utah Lace Opal cabochon is all finished. What do you think? Got a nice high dome on this one. The opal is soft and therefore it was easy to shape on the 220 grit wheel, as you saw. I really like the red area there. I think that's beautiful. Lots of nice detail in there. And the yellow is cool as well. This whiter area here is a little coarse, but otherwise, I think it's a great combination. What do you think? Pretty neat. And that's how we started, of course. And that's how it looks after those 7 different grits. I want to thank Larry for letting me have this nice big chunk of Utah Lace Opal to play with. I enjoyed it, learned a little bit. Hope you guys did as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do appreciate it. And please remember to check my other videos for more like this. Thanks again.